Okay, so what is SAP? SAP is a ERP application. Okay, what type of, if anyone asks you what type of application is SAP, so you should say ERP application. So again, the next question, what is ERP? So ERP is enterprise resource planning. So when I say enterprise resource planning, as I mentioned here, enterprise means company or organization and in the right form, etc. Resource, typically what kind of resources you see in a company, like employees, right? Manpower, money, machine, right? Any each and every resource of a company, right? We have many resources in a company. And planning. So if you plan these resources, whatever the resources that you have for a company, if you utilize the resources, definitely can reach your company's targets. You can definitely will get company's returns, right? So but how to plan then? So that's the reason where you take any ERP application, not only SAP ERP application, you consider any ERP application. Like many, we have many ERP applications in the market, such as ERP Next, Oracle Financials, Magnetics, and what do you say, Microsoft Dynamics. I have just mentioned here some 6 to 7, but you have more than 50, 60 ERP applications in the market. Okay, but mostly used application is Oracle applications, Microsoft Dynamics, and SAP. Okay, the first place goes to SAP always because it is capturing almost 76% in the around the world. Okay, so what exactly happens in the ERP? So when I said yes, SAP is okay. SAP is a ERP application where the data processing happens. Data processing. When I mention data processing, what kind of data processing happens in SAP? Any kind of data. Some you take consider for a typically for a company, what kind of departments you will have? Financial accounting department, HR department, sales department. You have material management, I mean inventory department, purchasing department. So every department will process respective data, right? Like accounting team will update customer invoices, purchase invoices, payments, and so on, right? So the data belongs to all the departments will be processed in SAP. Okay, the person who knows how to operate SAP, he will be working as an end user, and he will enter the data. It's a kind of data entry, you can say. Okay, but as so in SAP we'll see many different kinds of areas which we will call as SAP modules, like financial accounting, controlling, sales and distribution, HR, which is called latest, which is updated to the success factors, middle management, extended warehouse management. Okay, and what do you say, customer relationship management, financial supply chain management, joint venture accounting. So if I tell like this, it will be more than 15 20. I can tell continuously for 15 to 20 modules in SAP. So basically SAP is a ERP application where the data processing happens. As I mentioned here, SAP, it's SAP system application products is a business software data processing. So it contains a different servers also. I mean, it contains different business practices such as customer relationship management, supply relationship management, financial management, cost management, human resource management. So it will serve for all the different kind of industries like manufacturing industry, service sectors, financial industries, cements, so chemical industries, pharmaceutical industries. So it can be used for any industry, any type of industry as a SAP best practices. So in short, I can say that SAP, it is a application, it's a software application, which is a ERP application where the data processing will happen. When I say data processing, it could be any department data, accounting, sales, purchases, inventory, and so on. Okay. So when it was started? So this was started in 1972 by Germany company. Okay. It was started by Germany in year 1972, and actually they were like five IBM, the employees, five employees were there, they were working with IBM initially. They left the job and they started this SAP firm, and slowly it has been emerged from 1972 till now. I mean, slowly if you look at the versions, we have many versions. It started with 1979. Okay, this is entire thing called as service, I mean, R1 R2, which are like real time data processing, started in 1979. Next, they have released R2, 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 R2 architecture it is. Okay. Next, the SAP has introduced with ECC version, Enterprise Central Component version. Okay. And again, started with some every year they are getting one version from 2015. So first two digit belongs to the year and the second two digit belongs to the month. So in 2015, they have brought with Simple Finance, okay, in the November month, 1609. So September 2016, September 2017, 18. So every year they're just updating the versions. Okay, when I mentioned here R is nothing but real time. So the architecture initially it was only one architecture. Okay, so if you look at here architecture, so when I say SAP architecture, we have three layers. One is presentation layer, one is application layer, one is a database layer. So presentation layer, of course, take example your mobile or desktop, something else, okay, where you can operate the data, where you can operate, right, by using different applications. Application layer, see every application, each and every application is built upon some programming language, right? So similarly, SAP also developed on ABAP language, Advanced Business Application Programming, which is a fourth generation language. Some coding. So if you consider any mobile apps, right? You take WhatsApp or you take any Google Maps, anything, everything behind each and every application will have some programming code. So similarly, SAP is built on ABAP language, Advanced Business Application Programming Language. Okay, that is application layer. Database layer, of course, in your mobile will use some memory card or internal memory. So some data should be stored somewhere, right? So in SAP, we'll use Oracle database or SQL database. We have many databases. But after 2015, SAP has brought newer version which is called SAP S/4HANA. From here, from 2015 onwards, SAP has its own database which is called SAP HANA database. So from 2015, no other database can be installed under SAP HANA database, SAP S/4HANA system. So mandatorily it has to use HANA database only from 2015 version. Before ECC and ECC also they can use any database, Oracle or SQL, any database they can use. But from 2015, customers should use only HANA database only. There is no other option. If they're purchasing application, ERP application, definitely they have to purchase a database as well. HANA product only. Okay. If you look at here, so from 2020, so till here it is like each year and in the month of September they're releasing one version. But from 2020, so SAP has mentioned clearly saying that so every year then they are going to release version every year. So 2020, 21, 22, you can see the version every year one version. But again they have confirmed recently on the 20, I mean in 2023 2023 year they said that they'll be bringing every, I mean, version for every 2 years. So after 23, the next after 2 years it will be 2025. So we are expecting version, I think May, in the month of September or October we can expect 2025 version. Okay, again after 2 years 2027 version. So presently for every 2 years SAP is getting the newer version. Okay. So architecture, presentation layer, SAP is SAP GUI, which is graphic user interface. Application layer, advanced business application programming language, as I mentioned here. Database layer, SAP S/4HANA system, mandatorily they should use SAP HANA database only. Before ECC or EC system, you can use any database. And also one more thing, SAP is clearly confirmed to all the customers, whoever the ECC, I mean, whoever SAP is presently customers are using ECC, right? So all existing customers should migrate to S/4HANA system by 2027. SAP already released one note saying that every existing all ECC customer should migrate to SAP S/4HANA system to the latest version. So after 2027, no, SAP will not provide any support to the existing ECC customers. Okay. So if you scroll down here, so that's the reason here R1 R2 is real time data processing. So initially they have built all the three layers into one system. Later they have built like two applications, application presentation one layer and database in another layer. But R3 again they brought all the layers into I mean sorry, each layer has each individual system, like presentation as separate system, application as separate system, database layer as separate system. Okay, so this is all about your SAP architecture. Coming back to the understanding what is the definition of SAP S4 HANA. Okay, so every time I'm saying HANA, HANA, what is HANA? High performance analytic appliance. So in the name itself, it is there very high performance. You can execute the reports in seconds, in milliseconds. You have n number of reports, analytical reports. Okay, so we call it as SAP Business Suite for S4 HANA. So how do you call this SAP S4 HANA? SAP Business Suite for S4 HANA. This is how to pronounce the abbreviation for SAP S4 HANA. Okay, SAP Business Suite for S4 HANA. That's what we call. Again, SAP S4 HANA is a business suite. SAP HANA is a database. Okay, there is a difference. SAP S4 HANA is a business suite, which is ERP application. Backend, what is the database you will use? SAP HANA. As I mentioned earlier, right? SAP HANA mandatory should use SAP HANA database only. There is no other option. They can't install any other database for SAP HANA system. Now, type type of projects in SAP. So just imagine that you are working as a SAP consultant. You don't know anything now, right? So when you join as a SAP consultant in any company, so what kind of project that you will see? So just imagine presently there is a client, Verizon client. It's a company. Okay, usually Verizon company is a US company. In US they'll do they are related to telecommunication sector like Airtel or BSNL. Okay, so presently they are using Oracle applications. Just imagine they are using Oracle applications, ERP application. Now they want to shift to SAP S4 HANA system. Okay, now they want to move to SAP system. Just imagine that now presently Verizon now wants to move to SAP S4 HANA system from Oracle application. That is called new implementation, complete new implementation. In SAP it is called green implementation. Okay, moving from non-SAP to SAP system is called green implementation. And moving from existing SAP ECC system to SAP S4 HANA system, it is called migration. It is called migration. Okay, so basically it is called migration project, brownfield implementation. So migration project is also called brownfield implementation. This is nothing but just moving from your ECC to latest version SAP S4 HANA system. Okay, support and maintenance project. What is support and maintenance project? So of course every company needs some support, right? So once SAP is implemented, once Verizon implemented SAP, right? So lifetime SAP until the Verizon is there, definitely they need someone's technical support, right? IT support. Yep, there will be support and maintenance always. What is rollout? So during new implementation, say not all the countries will be included in your new implementation. For example, Verizon is doing business across some 10 to 15 countries. Okay, just imagine the Verizon is doing business in 15 countries. All 14 countries were involved in the implementation. They are bringing from Oracle to SAP system, all 14 countries, but they left one country, for example, China. Now this will be done later. That is called rollout extension. Maybe after 2 or 3 years, even China also will the Chinese business also they will get into SAP the same system. That is called rollout project. Any questions on the adoption types of project in SAP? These are the different projects. Is that clear? Yep. Okay, good. Okay. So yes, the same thing again as I discussed earlier. SAP has two types of modules. One is functional modules, one is technical modules. So let us understand the technical model. So the complete SAP administration, SAP setup or SAP installation or like SAP, what do you say, updating version to version. All these activities will be done by all these activities will be done by basis team. Basis, okay? We call them as SAP basis team. Administration. They will take care of administration, servers, transports, and everything. So moving from one system to another system, like for example, development to quality, quality to production, the transportation management, and so I'm talking about from system to system, okay? Um, and setting up the setting up servers, different servers like development server, quality server, production server. So all this will be done by base system. It's administration work. Coming back to the ABAP, as I mentioned earlier again, programmers. Who are the programmers? Advanced Business Application Programming. They write the coding. Just to say that, so Verizon is trying to implement SAP. Now it doesn't mean that everything can be done for Verizon, right? So there might be some requirements where it cannot be done in SAP. It's not the standard configuration, standard business process. Okay. So for that, so in order to meet the requirement, in order to meet business requirement, what we'll do, we'll coordinate with the technical team, ABAPers. We write the business, what do you say? We write functional specifications. Okay. We as a functional consultant, we know the business requirement from the client. I will coordinate with technical team, ABAPers. I will ask them to write the coding for the requirement to develop the program. I will ask them to develop the program to fulfill the requirement. So it is called Z. We call it as Z programs, customized developed programs. So ABAPers will come into picture. They develop the reports, they develop the interfaces, they develop the conversions, and so on. Coming back to the security team. Security team, it's a in the name itself, it is mentioned as security. It's access related, authorization related. So users will be provided access for the respective transactions. For example, you take accounting team. So accounting team, you have different areas like general ledger accounting, accounts receivable, accounts payable, right? So accounts receivable accountant will not have access to the accounts payable accountant. Similarly, accounts payable accountant will not have access to the accounts receivable accountant. So authorization access is strictly prohibited. I mean, it's very strict in SAP system. It is not easily provided to all the users. SD consultant will not have access to FI roles. FI consultant will not have access to the SD roles. So the entire authorization part will taken care by security team. In some companies, both basis and security will work together. In company, I mean, like big companies, Capgemini or Deloitte companies, they will have their separate security SAP consultants. In some companies, even basis team will take care of security role also. Okay, integration team. So this is like something. Imagine that present Verizon is like moving to SAP system. Okay, SAP, they want to implement SAP. Now once they're into SAP, not all the systems are moved to SAP system. So for example, Verizon using some Concur, some external third party system which is called Concur system. Concur is which is used to update your to post your, what do you say, it's employees expenses. So they are using separate application for booking all employees expenses, employees reimbursement, employees claims, etc. So all the transactions will be moved to SAP system, from Concur to SAP system. This is called integration interface. So data is coming from Concur to SAP system. It's an inbound interface from the SAP perspective. Inbound interface. So this interface, anyhow, this will be developed with the again ABAP team. Of course, we'll coordinate with ABAP team, and we will coordinate with integration team as well, because they are the like they'll integrate between two systems. The PI team, process integration team. Okay, so this is something technical. Don't go much into technical, but just I'm giving an overview. So separate technical team. So coming back to the functional models, we are the functional consultants. So as part of this training, I'll be covering financial accounting. Okay, so in financial accounting, we'll have general ledger accounting, we'll have accounts receivable, accounts payable, asset accounting, banking. right? And initially we'll have the enterprise structure settings. Okay, SD sales and distribution, sales SD consultants, where they will consider all the sales related transactions, where OTC order to cash process will be happen, like sales or like what you say, sales order, delivery, billing, and incoming payment from the cash, and so on. So they will take care of all everything related to sales and distribution. Inventory management, again P2P process will take care in in I mean in the module, like what do you say, procure to pay process, like purchase order, goods receipt, invoice receipt, and so on. Okay, extended warehouse management, this is another model where is integrated with your inventory management. Human resources will take care all HR related activities, payroll, time management, right, salaries, and etc. CO, this is cost accounting management. So cost accounting management will have project systems, product costing, material ledger, profitability analysis, many more, many areas are there which are related to costing. Okay, so SAP has brought many other areas, something around 2017, 18, 19. In 3 to 4 years, SAP has brought many, introduced many functional modules, like which are related to accounting again. Okay, group reporting, financial, what do you say, contract accounts. Okay, financial supply chain management, joint venture accounting. This is business process consolidation, profitability analysis, performance management, central finance, global trade services, vendor invoice management. SAP has brought many models. Okay, so all these are like called as functional modules. So now we'll understand what is SAP S4 HANA. I mean, basically, what are the advantages? So, what kind of why a customer should go for SAP S4 HANA? Why not Oracle applications or Microsoft Dynamics or like ERP next? Why only SAP? Because it is highly integrated system, as I mentioned here. Highly integrated system. Any question? No. So highly integrated system. So when I say integrated system, as I mentioned here, we have this module, right? Module, SD module. So whenever we purchase materials from the suppliers, whenever we purchase materials from the vendors, so automatically system will update accounting system, accounting also. So the transaction, the data processing is happening here, but automatically system is updating your accounting also. That is where the integration comes into picture. Same like sales. Whenever I sell goods to the customers, of course, customers will make payment to us, to the company. Under accounts receivable, it will get updated automatically. That's the integration between FI, and FISD. Okay, that's why we call integrated system. In memory technology, this is something little technical. So usually, I mean, normally in RAM, usually the data will not get stored. But in SAP, SAP is using in-memory technology where the data is stored in RAM also. So the reason why it is getting stored in RAM, because I mean, the data will be very fast to process the data. It will be like in seconds. I mean, it will process the data very fast, very accurate, and that's the reason here. That's the SAP has brought in memory technology. Multiple languages. So SAP can be SAP can process the data. The data processing can happen in multiple languages, almost more than 60, I think. More than 60 languages the data can be processed. So in French, in Russian language, in Chinese, in Japanese. Okay. So SAP has it's a European countries will use their language. Japanese country will use a Japanese language. Even Germany will use Germany language. Spanish, Spain, Spanish language. All Asian countries will use English. Of course, even America also will use English. Okay, so you have many languages in SAP where the data can be processed. When I say data can be processed, what kind of data again? The same data, all the different departments data, accounting, sales, and everything. Okay, multiple currencies. Yes, we can define up to maximum 10 currencies in SAP system. For example, I have one company. I want to report it in 10 different currencies, in Singapore dollar currency, in USD dollar, in Indian INR. Even I want to report it in JPY currency as well. So I can define up to 10 currencies. It will support up to 10 currencies. That's an advantage, right? Data aggregate. Actually, earlier, like whenever you post any data, whenever you process any transaction or any data, system used to update in multiple tables. The data redundancy, right? So it is getting updated in different tables, different places. Okay, table will not may not be understand now, but it will update in different places. So what happens? It's a duplicate. It's getting updated. It's getting updated, right? In the multiple tables, in the multiple places, getting duplicated. So SAP has removed that duplicate tables. Now it has to now it what it has aggregated the data now. Okay, so what happens if you aggregate the data? The data you can execute the reports. You can execute the reports very faster. That's the advantage with the data aggregation. Okay, SAP Fury application, again, this is something where users will process the data in different applications. Like they can use a different medium, like a desktop, mobile, or laptops. They can work from anywhere, from any location, or they can use any medium. They can work from their mobiles also. Users can work from mobiles also. You have that functionality. Okay, so that is called SAP Fury application. It's a web-based application. It's a web-based application. They can use from anywhere. Okay, I hope understood what are the different advantages. Coming back to the roles, SAP roles. Now you may ask a question. After learning SAP, what kind of roles that will be working? I mean, where I can work. So you have two roles: working as an end user, working as a SAP consultant. Right? Working as an end user, again, by using SAP application, you will be working as an end user, as a non-IT consultant, right? As a non-IT, as an accountant or a senior accountant. Okay. Whereas SAP consultant, yes, we are the designers. We understand the business requirement from the client. Say, for example, Verizon. We define, we configure, we customize, we tailor the business requirements as per the client. So I know what needs to be defined, what needs to be configured since I'm a SAP consultant. Whereas end user will use the those configurations, those customizations. They are not going to touch SAP consultant's role activities, right? End user will not have access to SAP consultant the screens, the configuration screens, the design screens. So end user just they'll process the data, whereas consultants everything they'll set up the complete setup, the complete configuration. They will customize the setup for the clients, the business setup, the business process setup. Now you should decide which role you want to work. You want to work as a SAP end user or a SAP consultant. As an end user, definitely you'll see some not good as SAP consultants packages, right? Something around 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 lakhs, maybe reach up to maximum 10 lakhs or 12 lakhs or 14 lakhs you may reach as a SAP end user. I mean, as an end user, you take any application, not only SAP, as an Oracle application or Oracle application consultant, I mean, Oracle application end user or Microsoft Dynamics using end user. So you take any ERP application working as an end user, you make it max 10 or 15 lakhs. But as a consultant, as a SAP consultant, definitely you'll within 5 or 6 years you will reach 30 plus because completely this belongs to IT industry. Got the difference? What is end user and SAP consultant? Any questions on these roles? Because we are learning SAP, right? So you should understand the difference between end user and SAP consultant. Any question, Ashwin, Prasad, madam? Is it clear? Okay. Is it boring? Is it interesting? Okay, that's really good news. Okay, then we'll discuss what is a system landscape. So SAP as landscape. Okay, so once you complete your course, when you join in any company, right, working as SAP consultant, you should ask these questions. What is our project landscape? So So system landscape, project landscape. So every project will have certain landscape like development server, quality server, production server. As a SAP consultant, okay, as a SAP consultant, what I will do, I'll configure the system as per the business requirement. That will be done in golden client. Golden client is called customization client. Okay, so configuration client, golden client, customization client, all are like similar synonyms. It's a what do you say SAP terminology, I can say. So once we do customizing settings here, once we do configuration settings here, we move that settings to the another client. So 100 to 200. It's identification. One client, which is golden client is 100, 200 is another client where we do the testing 200. But who will move this from 100 to 200? We will be doing it. We will be moving from client to client within the development server by using transaction code SCC1N or SCC1. Okay, this will you'll be doing this one in real time, not in our training server system. Okay, we will because we'll have only one system. So in real time, we will be using SCC1N or SCC1 transaction to move your changes from golden client to test system. Here we do all the testing as per the business requirement. I'll prepare the test cases. I know what is my business requirement. I know what needs to be tested. So I'll prepare the test cases. I'll test it thoroughly. If at all, if something is going wrong, I will come again. I will come back to the golden client. I'll do the changes again here. I will move changes to 200. Again, I'll test here. So it's a again, I mean, just kind of cycle, right? Do the configuration settings, do the testing. If everything is fine, if everything is fine, we'll move changes to the next server, quality server. So moving from server to server will be done by base system. The changes, the transport from system to system will be done by base system. Again, here also we do the testing. It's kind of final testing. So once everything is done from our side, so we'll request client to perform the user acceptance test. So business will thoroughly test all the scenarios in the quality server. So once they complete the testing, they will provide the sign off copy to move changes to the production. So who will be working on production? Yes, end users will be working in the production system. Settings will be imported by base system, again quality to production server. Server to server will be done by base system. Within the server from golden client to golden client to test client will be done by us only. We as functional consultants. Okay. So this is very important. The sign off, user sign off is very important. So based on the business sign off, based on the client sign off, then only the changes will be moved to the settings will be moved to the production server. So again, users will start working on those activities. They will utilize the settings, whatever we defined here. Yep. Sorry, Prasad. Yes, exactly. Yep. Yep. So Prasad, one thing. So in development, golden client, the configuration client, it is mentioned as 100. In test client, it is mentioned as 200. This quality server will have some 300 identification. Okay. And production server may have some 400 client number. So these identifications for each server identifications, system identifications. You have your name, right? I have my own name. So everyone will have some their own names. Similarly, every system will have some client name. So users will be working in client 400. It is called production system. Instead of saying client, you can say production client or production system. There will be some identification with number. Okay. Want to see the system? See here, see here, client. Just assume that this is a configuration client. 200 will have some test client. 300 will have quality client. 400 will have production client. In production client, the 400 client where users will work. Okay, they will process the data in the system. the production system. Is that clear, sir? Okay. So in certain projects, not in all the projects, in certain projects, settings once we as a consultant, I'll be doing settings here. Later I'll test the settings also. But moving from development to quality server, what I'll do, I mean, I'll check with my lead. Okay, I'll get approval from my lead, then only. So once he's based on his approval, then we'll move changes to the quality server. Again, based on the approvals, from quality to production will be done by business side. The approvals need to be provided by business team. From the client side, they have to provide the approvals to move changes to the production system. Okay, so approvals will be there here. Not all the clients will have, some certain clients will have. But from quality to production, anyhow, we need sign off. We don't move anything blindly to the production system. Every time we need to take the sign off from the business, then only the changes will be moved to the production system. So user has to test thoroughly the scenarios, the requirement, the business requirement, right? This is common, right? Across all the technologies, not only SAP. You take any technology, even Java, .NET, anything. See, so what IT people will do, they develop the program and they will test it thoroughly. Then we'll ask client to the test. Then the changes will be moved to the production. Even you take any product, any physical product. Yes. Yep. Yeah, that's correct. So even my car manufacturing company, they will manufacture the product, they will test the product, then deliver the product to the customer. Correct? So similarly everything. So this entire system landscape across all technologies will be similar only. There is no difference. Maybe terminologies will be different, but across all the industries, across all the manufacturing firms or any you take any kind of industry or any kind of some project will have the same thing. Jobs. So moving from development to quality, quality to production will be done by base system, right? So this sometimes it will be scheduled jobs. I mean, if you want to, so base system, what they will do for every half an hour, they will schedule the jobs, moving changes from one system to another system. Okay. Solution manager tool, this is a project management tool where all the project related activities will be tracked. Project related activities, the transportation, in which phase you are. So will definitely you will have every project will use some certain kind of project management tool. This will be used by project management team, some senior managers, directors. Okay, not at consultant level. So PM tools will be there, project management tool, but SAP has own tool which is called solution management manager tool. The documentation can be loaded, the business process documents can be loaded, the transportation will be there, everything will be done by a solution manager tool. Okay, so this is all about your system landscape. Now you know, if you are joining in any SAP project, right, immediately you should ask what is our system landscape in your KT discussion, knowledge transfer calls. Any question on the system landscape? This is important when if you start working as SAP consultant. To, clear, right? So sometimes what happens, there are certain activities that need to be done by consultants in production also. Certain activities. Okay, we'll understand once we start doing practicals in the system. So those certain activities, how do we don't have access right in production. So we'll take some access, special access from the basis team, which is called firefighter ID access. In some projects, we'll call a super user ID access or firefighter ID access. By using firefighter ID access, we can do changes in the production system. Okay, but we'll do with very we'll do we'll take the screenshots and everything. Need to be very careful while doing the some changes in the production system. Everything can be tracked. Okay, what if even though if you do small mistake also everything can be tracked. So that is all about system landscape. Coming back to the SAP implementation methodologies. So we'll discuss on SAP implementation methodologies. We'll take small break. But before taking a break, any questions on the previous whatever we discussed, Prasad? Understanding ERP application and also understanding SAP, what kind of models we have, and when it was started, the evolution part. When it was started, what are the different versions in SAP? And what is our current version? 2023. and soon we can see 2025 version. And what is our SAP architecture? So we have three different layers as part of SAP architecture. We are using SAP advanced business application programming language for writing the programs. And the difference between SAP S4 HANA and SAP HANA, which is a database and ERP application. And what are the different types of projects in SAP? As I mentioned, we have so there are different projects. It's a green implementation, which is completely new implementation coming from non-SAP to SAP, non-SAP to SAP. So and brownfield implementation, which is migration project, SAP to latest version. Basically, this is a version ECC to SAP S/4HANA brownfield implementation. Support, every company needs support. Rollout is something where it is which is not in part of where it was not a part of green implementation. I mean, it was done later at a later stage, separate release. Understanding between two models like functional models and technical models. We have the different models. Every model has its own process. Okay, and what are the advantages of SAP S/4HANA system? Okay, so multiple currencies, multiple languages, in-memory technology, integrated system. Understand? It can work on web-based also applications. What are the different roles? SAP roles, end user role and SAP consultant. So after learning SAP, you can work as a SAP end user and you can work as a SAP consultant. Now you should decide which one you want to target. System landscape, as I mentioned, we have three servers. So in certain projects, you will have some pre-producer. So client may request that they want to test one more time, not in the server, but they want to test a couple of times in other servers as well. So we'll create. So base system will create one more server, call it pre-production server. They will test here also. Sometimes QA3 also will be there. So if they are not happy, they'll ask us to create one more server. So the testing will go on. Okay. Now this is all about your system landscape. Any questions, guys? Is it boring or is it how it is? Understandable? Is it clear? Okay, so we'll take small break. Okay, then we'll understand, or else we'll take next class. What do you say, guys? Next class will be better, right? You're so busy with the Tuli Ekadashi.